there, Planet Coaster friends, and welcome to episode 3 of building our medieval theme park here in Planet Coaster. In this episode, I will be putting down our first flat ride, and of course, with a name like Mrs. TeaRex and my love for tea, it had to be the Teacups. So the Teacups itself is already a highly themed ride, and it honestly looks incredible, to the point I was not really sure of how this was going to fit into the park. So I decided to cover the ride, which you can see right now I'm building the frame for the ride itself. I am basically using these really big thick timber beams which are perfect for adding a custom roof, and as you can see that is being made out of arc shapes. Do not fear, I'm not going for this disgusting bright peaky yellow colour. I will be changing it out a little bit later on, but I just wanted to show the process of it. It's a really simple thing to do, and if you want to learn how to do these kind of things in Planet Coaster, then let me know in the comments below. So there we go, I've changed it to a nice pink colour. Fear not, that does actually get changed once again. I was trying to use the colours within the ride itself. I know that the ride can be recolorable, but there's something really nice about baby pinks and the baby blue colours. I just wanted to keep it as authentic as possible with the ride. I also liked how the ride itself had quite a lot of bunting on it. Basically, I feel like whoever purchases this ride, I imagine the company is like a ride manufacturer, so they do spin teacups, they do other flat rides like carousels, that kind of thing, and they'll have a catalogue. This is the way that I think about it in my head, and basically you go to the catalogue and it will show you the breakdown of the rides, and you can pay X amount of money for the standard one, which is exactly what we have purchased, or you can pay an additional amount of money and you can get like custom bits and bobs added onto it, and we just don't have the money to do that, so I've just went for the basic what you actually see in game right now. That's fine with me. I'm quite happy with the way it looks, to be honest. So you would have seen me put down the railings as well, and we're moving on to the flooring. So the flooring itself on this flat ride isn't actually flat, funnily enough, and I just decided that I wanted this to be as authentic and themed as much as possible, so I'm just putting down some arch shapes here to cover up the floor, and then I'm going to have to lift this up, but unfortunately I cut that footage out. I don't know why. Ask past Gemma why she done that. I honestly don't know, but that's okay, it's probably not even that interesting. And right now we're moving on to adding some more food into the park. So there's going to be, this is a hot dog squad. I was about to say a chief beef, it's definitely not, it's a hot dog squad. I love hot dogs. Hot dogs is probably my go-to if I was at a theme park. I just think they're delicious, even though they're extremely cheap and overpriced. Let me know what you guys go for when you go to theme parks. What's your like number one thing that you're like, I must get that? Also donuts. There's nothing sweeter than fresh donuts at a theme park. That is like, I would honestly pick the donuts over the hot dog any day, because fresh donuts with like powdered sugar or like cinnamon, delicious. Anyway, I've probably either made you really hungry or you've clicked off by now. But if you are still here, I appreciate you. So yeah, we're just finishing off the design of the hot dog squad there. Just trying to get it to stick within the medieval theme. And don't forget to add the classic awning. Isn't she a thing of beauty? And then we're adding on our very first toilet. Now, I have seen so many of the guests walk about holding themselves because I forgot to add in a toilet. The most basic necessity of any theme park, and it's taken me to episode 3 to add it in, so maybe not the best park manager, but that's okay because it's a sandbox. So now I'm just adding in a little bit more details with these flower pots, planters. You'll see that these are all over the park. I just think that they add kind of a nice whimsical touch. And then I'm just going away here and covering up the little bits and bobs that don't really look that nice. So we're just adding in some plants here. Now, Planet Coaster's foliage. Well, let's talk about it, shall we? Now, as we know from Planet Zoo, we have been absolutely spoiled with the amount of foliage that's in game. But Planet Coaster, they, first of all, didn't get scale right at all. And secondly, you're totally limited to the amount of foliage that you can put within the game. So I'm very much looking forward to Planet Coaster 2 in the amount of foliage that hopefully they'll bring over from Planet Zoo. Anyway, back to the building here. So what I have created was, it looked like a frowning house. So I decided to get rid of those cross beams. And then we're just adding in some shutters here. I quite like the teal. I think the teal looks quite good, so I just kept it the same colour. I was considering recolouring it, but we're just making it all match so it looks consistent, I guess, and really adds that element of design. How pretentious am I? And I've got a toilet sign which was taking off of the workshop here, and then we're just adding a little bit more detail around the hot dog squad there. Now we're moving on to our second building, which has got a Gulpy Energy, I think that's what that shop is. I love the Gulpy brand. It is my favourite brand in Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster, Planet anything. Gulpy is my favourite mascot. I wonder why, but funnily enough, my logo was actually inspired by Gulpy Rex. That's a little nod if you didn't know that. It's something I've never actually spoke about, but when Gulpy is walking about, he has his tongue out, and that's what I wanted to create within my logo. I wanted a dinosaur who's really concentrating on games, and when you concentrate so hard, sometimes your tongue pops out, and that was a bit of a nod to Gulpy. But anyway, adding in windows is our next little task here. I don't actually like these windows, I'm not going to lie to you, but they are in and we're not changing them. And then we're just adding in more beams to stick with that theme. And then I think every single shop has that awning part. And then again, just giving it a little bit more depth. What I didn't want with this building is to be too high, because there's a certain point where you can walk and you can see the roller coaster, and I wanted to keep that kind of magic, that the buildings are not that high. And then we're just adding in some clutter, a little bit of theming, which kind of finishes the whole thing off. And then I went onto the workshop and found this really awesome teapot, which I couldn't make. This is incredible, so I'll put a link in the description to whoever who made it. Apologies. In fact, you know what? I'll put up a little thing right now, and that'll be a reference to whoever who designed it. And then back to our lovely foliage, which is practically spamming the same foliage, bushes, plants. You do what you do. But I didn't want the queue line to feel overpowering. I just thought putting some foliage down would be acceptable, to be honest. And I didn't actually know what else to put in, so it is what it is. So we're just adding in a little bit more foliage here. I don't imagine that we would have much of a gardener. They would just let this run a little bit wild. For our next ride, I will either finish off the roller coaster, because that needs themed, or I will do a water ride. So let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see next, and enjoy the cinematics.